Welcome back to AM Northwest. Are you looking to improve your mental and physical health in the new year? Well, you might want to consider adopting a dog. Here to share the latest scientific research into the health benefits of a furry companion, we welcome the author of The Purest Bond, Understanding the Human-Canine Connection, Jen Golbeck. Good to have you with us, Jen.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
You need to know, first of all, I'm a humongous dog fan, huge. Have two at home myself. Also, you're big into Goldens.
Yes, we rescue special needs golden retrievers. We have 5 right now, but usually there's between 5 and 7 in the house. So we take in old and sick dogs in hospice cases, which is like, sad sometimes, but also just so rewarding to give them this really happy life for however long we get to keep them.
Oh, I want to live your life. That sounds like heaven to me. But let's talk about when it comes to scientific facts behind dogs and the human bond. Let's first talk, during COVID, I swear to you, everybody I interviewed via Zoom during COVID adopted a dog.
It was absolutely a thing. All the shelters got cleared. Everybody wanted a dog. And it was a great idea. We know from the science that dogs make our lives better in basically every way. Our mental health, our physical health, our social relationships with other people. They are this pretty consistent positive force. And so at a time when everything felt like the world was kind of ending and we had nothing to rely on, that dog becomes a stabilizing, comforting presence. And it was, I think, exactly what a lot of people needed.
So talk to me then about the science behind it.
Yeah, so if we start with, say, physical health, which I think is some of the surprising results for some people, dogs help you live longer. We know, for example, if people have a heart attack and they own a dog, they live longer. Even if you control for like the fact that they might walk the dogs more and they get more exercise, dogs still help you live longer regardless of how much exercise you're getting. They can help detect diseases in people. They obviously get us outside more and connected to people. And then I think anyone who has a dog knows about the mental health benefits, but the science is really strong there too.
It seems like when anyone that I've known in the past has been, maybe they lost a spouse, it seems like the first thing that they need to do is find a pet to take care of, and a dog is really ideal because it makes you get outside. It makes you connect with people. It makes you connect with an animal.
Yeah, if we look at the psychology of people's relationship with their dogs, one thing we talk a lot about is behavioral activation. And so if you're depressed, you have a lot of trouble with this, where you just want to stay in bed, everything seems really hard. It's just hard to start doing anything. And dogs give us that excuse where we have to get up, we have to take the dog out, we have to feed them. And that often is enough to prompt us to kind of re-engage with life when it might feel really hard otherwise. On top of that, there are these great sources of non-judgmental social support, which we know is a thing from decades of research that makes us psychologically and physically healthier. So they serve as these really important companions to help us address a lot of problems that might be hard to deal with on our own.
It's amazing to me how your dogs can tell when you're not feeling so great, either emotionally or physically.
Yeah, it comes off in the way that you smell. So if you're stressed out, if you're sad, your sweat smells different, your breath smells different to a dog. We, of course, can't tell. And then certainly if you're sick, dogs can also smell that too. And there's some amazing studies where dogs can, for example, detect COVID in samples where you might like lick a cotton swab with like 95 to 100% accuracy. They can detect cancer that way. Their noses are just so powerful that really little biochemical changes in our body that we wouldn't notice are things that they can pick up on. And sometimes even if your dog's not trained, you'll notice them alerting you to that.
When you were putting together this book and the research with it, what surprised you? Because I'm blown away by the fact that a dog can detect disease in somebody, like cancer in somebody, or help someone calm down before a seizure. I'm just blown away by that. What were you surprised by?
When I was in like 6th grade, I had a science teacher who told me that dogs didn't really love us back. They just licked us.
No, that's so. What kind of teacher is that? That's terrible.
It made me so mad.
Yeah.
But I was like 12 and I couldn't argue back. And so when I was doing the book, one piece of results that I loved so much was looking at this thing called attachment bonds, which we normally study between mothers and infants. They're that first bond that babies make with their mothers. And they do fMRI studies, those things that show the parts of your brain that light up. And on infants, there's a very specific part of the brain that lights up when they see their mom. And they've replicated those studies with dogs where they put them in fMRI machines and train them to lay still and let them see their owners. And the same part of the brain lights up, which is evidence that, like, on this neurological level, our dogs love us back the same way that babies love their parents back. And that blew my mind. I thought it was a beautiful result.
When you consider all the dogs you've had in your life, is there one dog that stands out to you? And if so, why?
Yeah, I talk in the book. I mean, I've loved them all in different ways, but when I was in middle school, I was one of those kids who had a hard time. I was really depressed. I was bullied. I was in a very dark place, and my parents kind of knew something was going on, and their solution was to buy me a puppy, which I don't know would be the solution now, but was exactly what I needed. His name was Major, and I call him my suicide prevention dog because that's really what he was for me at 12.
Wow.
And he gave me this place where I could feel like I wasn't judged, like my awkwardness didn't matter, like he loved me back. And he really was a force that turned me around from a really hard point in my life. And so he's got a lot of gratitude for me for that.
Yeah, incredible. I love that. We want to tell our audience that the book again is titled The Purest Bond, Understanding the Human Canine Connection. Jen Golbeck, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.